everybody. Happy Friday and welcome to Comics from the Future. This is the show we do every single Friday where we go over the latest and greatest comics and covers and everything we don't want you to miss right here on the show. So, if Kate.
We've got a very big week this week as well. I mean, it's War of the Bounty Hunters, it's Venom, there's Berserker #3. So if you think our show usually has a lot of stuff and it's typically kind of long, this one's going to be a little bit extra long. It's a great week to hear about some comics.
It'll be worth it. All right, in case you did not know, my name's Megan.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Jason. We're with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee.
And let's get into it.
I'm starting us off with Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters #1. So this last week we just got War of the Bounty Hunters Alpha, which was basically your 0 issue going into this big event. This is, not to freak anybody out, a 34-part crossover event.
Is that all?
That's it.
Okay.
So if you look at the back of Alpha, it gave you a list of all the things. It's basically just rotating between Star Wars, Vader, Aphra, Bounty Hunters, and then we get another issue of this. So it's not that big. This is actually going to be a 5-issue miniseries if you just want to read this. And I actually got a chance to read most of this issue. This is a 40-page issue that we got a preview of. I probably read around, it was probably 20 to 30 pages. It seemed like there was the whole end of it, they still want to be a big mystery. This is from Charles Soule and art by Luke Ross, and this picks up right where Alpha left off with Han Solo. If you haven't read it yet, has been stolen from Boba Fett, and this was his big bounty. This is going to get him all his credits, and he is going to try to figure out who took him and how to get it back. At that same time, there may be a hunter becomes the hunted situation going on here, as some of our favorite bounty hunters, Zuckuss and Forlom, show up, going after Boba Fett and not necessarily Han. So it's a really cool beginning first issue. This promises a Death Star sized reveal, blowing a big hole in this whole story thing. And those were the pages that were cut out of the previews copy that I read. Yeah. But the stuff before that is still really, really good. You have a bunch of stuff with Jabba and other bounty hunters and these kind of new mysterious characters. There is your classic hooded character that we don't know who they are, but I'm sure last page they're going to flip it back and it's going to be, I don't know, like Black Widow or something. Who knows what it's going to be, but
Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's just Spider-Man. But it sounds like it's going to be really big. They're really touting this. I mean, to do a 34 part right when Megan is drinking. 34-part maxi series. You know that they have big plans for this. So really cool. And first up we have a variant cover that is a big old wraparound variant cover. Let's go to that. So this is the CAMUNCOLI variant where you kind of see all the key players in this story going at it. So really, really cool variant cover there. Next up we have the, of course, the John Tyler Christopher variant, which he's done Boba Fett many, many times now. I'm not sure what's completely different about this one than like when he first did it, but still really cool. The original Boba Fett cover is still one of the hardest ones to get.
You know, I think Boba Fett, he's one of the few characters where when his armor's all chipped up and messed up, it looks better.
Yeah, somehow. In the Mandalorian, when he cleans it up, it's like, oh, that's nice, but this takes away some of the threat.
Right.
We have the PICHELLI variant, which he's giving a good old punch to Forlom right in his bug robot chin.
Right in the non-normal kisser.
Yeah. And then we have the Babs TARR Pride Month variant, which we just got. This like
just came out
a few minutes ago.
Hour.
Yeah. So I saw where a website post is like, okay, we got to get this on here because, I mean, Dr. Aphra, everything with her is also heating up, and such a cool character, and I love this cover. It's
Yeah,
so
that's a
strong
really
and
good one.
colorful.
Yep. Okay, so next up from Marvel with even more covers is Venom number 200, also known as Venom number 35. This is the final issue of Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman's just incredible run on Venom. I've looked into this heavily, and there is nothing solicited for any more Venom after this issue.
Yeah.
Because they keep saying, if you read the news on it, it's like, okay, it's Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman's last issue. Okay, well, so who's going to take over? There is no news on that at all. There's no issue 36 or issue 201. At least all the way through July, there is nothing Venom going on. So this seems like it is the final issue of the series. It's either that or it's a long hiatus. There are a ton of covers, so I'm just going to get right to them. This is the Art Adams variant. Venom looking very buff like he used to a while ago. Of course, he can sort of morph to how he wants to look.
Why would you just choose to be buff all the time?
I mean, just to trick people. You look all emaciated and weak. They come over and you just devour
You
them.
hustle them.
This is the Mark Bagley variant.
He's punching the 200.
Yeah, he's busting through it.
Kind of looks like he's jumping through a wall of French fries too, or onion rings.
Here is the Bianchi variant.
He's got little snake fangs in
Yeah.
the front,
Yeah, I see that. And large tear glands, if that's what those are. So here's the Patrick Gleason one.
Oh yeah, this one. This is big.
Yeah, that is awesome.
If you notice, his eye too is the spider.
The
from
spider
the middle
that
of the
keeps
suit.
being in all the
Yeah.
webhead ones. So everybody who likes all the webheads, let your comic shop know if you want this one,
Mhm.
so that they can make sure to get enough. When a comic has this many covers, and we're not even halfway through, when a comic has this many covers, you cannot expect your store is just going to order, 24 of each
Yeah.
one. So it's more than ever important to tell your store which ones you want.
Especially because this is what, a $9.99 book.
Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah.
forgot to mention that.
Yep.
Or was I just waiting till the end, till everyone was tantalized with all the covers they couldn't say
I
no
mean,
to?
Who knows?
This
how much
book
it
is 96 pages, so it's pretty much like 4 comics in one
Mm.
for $9.99. The next is the Kyle HOTZ variant. I like that they got Kyle HOTZ doing all these covers again.
Yeah.
I was a fan of his back in the 90s, and he has not skipped a beat in all this time.
His Venom has muscles I didn't even know existed.
And then here is the JOCK variant, another really striking one.
Yeah.
This one kind of stands out the most because of the light,
Yeah.
all the white on it. And then we have the KLEIN variant. I mean, they're all so good that even when you see one that's like, that's pretty good, it's
Yeah, it's still really good.
yeah. This is the Elizabeth Torque variant. It's kind of tormenting some people there. So originally, you might see on other sites, there was supposed to be a Rob Liefeld Deadpool variant for Deadpool's 30th anniversary. Marvel just announced, once again, hours ago, that one is not happening, and instead they replaced it with this one. So if you were wanting that Deadpool one where he's just sort of jumping in, photobombing, that's no longer available. So here is the GARCIN variant. A lot to look at and take in there.
Probably like every Venom appearance ever
Yeah.
on the cover.
Then here is the Ramos variant. Of course, Ryan Stegman variant.
Even though he's doing the A cover, he's like, I get a variant too.
Uh-huh.
Well, they added a lot to Venom in this series, including the wings,
Yeah.
the sword. This sort of shows a little bit of that. And lastly, the VEREGGE variant. So whatever ones you want, let your store know. Let us know if you shop with us to make sure you get the right ones.
All right, totally different direction now. We have a new, what do you call it when it's in between a mini series and a maxi series? We have a new midi
I was
series.
just about to say
Midi.
mini-series.
This is an 8-parter called Crush and Lobo. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is Crush's first sort of solo. It's not initially solo.
Away
not
from the
totally
Teen
solo.
Titans.
Yeah.
Yes, so this is written by Mariko Tamaki, famous for Harley Quinn Breaking Glass, Venom Double Trouble. Just really good, fun, really good at writing young characters, so this is perfect. So, in case you don't know, Crush is Lobo's daughter. She first appeared a couple years ago in the Teen Titans special. So, like I said, it's her first co-op series, and so yeah, she's quit being a Teen Titan. Her relationships are going so great. Her dad is in space jail, so this series is going to start off with her going to space to confront her dad in space jail. So I am excited for this. I think it's going to be really well written, have some great artwork. There is a variant cover as well for Pride Month. This is the Yoshitani Pride Month variant.
So I have to say, I'm interested in this too because I read all the Teen Titans stuff. I've kept up with it from back when they introduced her. And Lobo was trying to kill her. I mean, Lobo doesn't want a daughter. He wants to be the last Zarnian.
Yeah.
So first off, he wants to be the last Zarnian. Secondly, he legitimately doesn't want a daughter. So I don't really know how they're going to reconcile or if they're going to. It might just be typically when you start a book with Lobo, he just attacks you.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I'm kind of interested to see what happens because Crush, she is powerful. And she's learned to control her powers better through the Teen Titans. So it'll be really cool to see what goes on.
And some just really weird family dynamics going on in this.
Yeah.
Next up is something really cool. This is the first book from DC's new DC Horror Presents line that they say is going to, be a big thing going forward. And this is The Conjuring the Lover. This is a prequel comic to the new Conjuring 3 movie. So this is a 5-issue limited series. This is by the screenwriter of the previous 2 Conjuring movies. And the art is by Rex Ogle. And this sounds really cool. So this actually follows a student named Jessica who, along with dealing with the horrors of going to college, which could be its own Conjuring movie, feels like she's being pursued by some dark entity. And it teases, what does this dark entity have to do with Arn Johnson, who was a serial killer at the time who pleaded not guilty because he said that he was demon possessed. So this has something to tie in with that, which is going to be the main story of The Conjuring 3. The Devil Made Me Do It. And so yeah, this sounds really, really cool. The other part that has me really excited about this is each issue has a backup story that follows or tells the history of one of the items from the Warrens collection. If you know the movies, the investigators, the Warrens, have like a room that's full of all these weird things that are all supposed to be possessed or supernatural.
The Annabelle doll.
Annabelle doll is one.
Behind the glass, yeah.
And the first story in this is written by Scott Snyder. So, I mean, that's what he's best at, I think, is horror. And so, yeah, this sounds really cool. Only 5 issues, but I'm excited to see also what comes out of this new DC horror label.
Yeah, I've never seen anything quite like it. Like, we've definitely seen comics based on movies, but this is prequels. And, Marvel did prequel comics to their own movies.
Yeah.
But this is really interesting that DC is doing this.
I think this is a good territory for comics to go into. All the time stuff is optioned from comic books, but not often do you see a well-established movie franchise later get a comic book, and I think we're just seeing a growing connect between audiences who want to read comic books, and that's great, and we're really excited about that.
Especially when you get the screenwriter. That's like them going, I think this story is best in comics and stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah.
There's also a variant cover. This is the Ryan Brown VHS cover, which I'm a sucker for any like VHS.
That's great.
Okay, from DC Comics, they are doing a one-shot in honor of Pride Month called DC Pride. It is 9 different stories by just a variety of writers and artists. And for that reason, it is also a $9.99 book. It's the week of me selling $9.99 books, I guess. But this is going to include Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Batwoman, Alan Scott. I mean, you see all the characters on the cover.
Even the new Flash.
Correct. The new Flash from Future State is going to be in it. Obsidian, Extrano. Some characters are well known. Some that are, sort of from the shadows, I guess. So all that's happening in this one shot, but there's also one other thing. They are taking a character from the Supergirl CW show.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Dreamer, and for the first time, bringing her into the DC universe. So it's going to be Dreamer's first appearance in the DC universe, comics that is.
Yeah.
So if you want to catch that, that will only be in this issue, and then there is. The A cover is a Jim Lee cover, by the way,
Yeah.
for those of you who cannot tell. There's a Jen Bartel variant.
I've been seeing this one passed around a lot,
Yeah.
so I think this will be a popular one.
And Bartel is one of the hottest artists right now.
Mm-hmm. They're connecting auras.
All right, another horror title from DC. Super excited about this. And not only because it's a horror title from DC, but mostly because it's written by James Tynion IV. We all know what an amazing writer he is, and especially with horror titles, his Department of Truth. He has Something is Killing the Children, so it makes total sense that DC would scout him for this new series. So I read this is just a black label. I thought originally DC was going to call it something else, but it seems like they've just lumped it in with the black label stuff, which that's great. Take it into new territory. So the premise here for Nice House on the Lake, and this is going to be a 12-part series with art from his Detective Comics partner. So it is about a group of people who get invited to this house by a mysterious figure, and they soon learn that not all is what it expects. They're not just invited here for a nice dinner date or anything like that, but the series kind of explores how do you think the world will end, and themes on that. So I don't want to give too much away without it being a spoiler, but you know it's written by James Tynion, you know it's going to be good. I'm interested in these symbols up at the top here. There's 10 of them, but I know this is a 12-part series, and I looked at issue number 2, and the second symbol is lit up. So I wonder if they're going to add symbols, or how that's going to change. I don't know if this was originally planned to be a 10-part series.
Sounds like a secret code, like, you know, one of those weird ciphers or something, perhaps.
I hope so. James Tynion always has layers to the stuff he does, so yeah, this is going to be great. I don't think it's going to be Something is Killing the Children level spec worthy, but I don't think it'll be far off.
I say with James Tynion, the longer the title, the better it's going to be.
Something is Killing the Children. Nice House on the Lake. Oh.
Yeah.
It's going to be equal to... I actually got a chance to read it, and there is... it even told us in like the email when you read it, it's like, don't give away the ending, the surprise ending, because it does have a really crazy twist ending. And also it does seem like a very nice house on the lake. It seems like a lovely place to vacation.
All right, well, you heard it from Andy. There is a huge spoiler to the point where they told us that retailers do not talk about the end of this book. So this is a variant cover by Martin Simmons, who is the artist on Department of Truth. Really love it to see when they carry over working together. So there we go.
There's just something really unsettling about that cover.
Yeah, Martin Simmons' work in general really works well for... they have a really good relationship, I think, and he knows what Tynion's going for. So, yeah, we're all happy for this.
Next up, we have Heroes Reborn. This is number 5, and of course, this is the Bagley trading card variant. But this issue also sounds really cool. It's no secret that this is a heavy play off of DC Comics, Marvel doing their kind of fun homage to DC. And this one sees Nighthawk have to infiltrate Ravencroft Asylum. And it says it's a house of madness, and even his arch enemy, the Goblin, is in there. So you can draw the parallels to Batman Arkham and the Joker, but I think that's what makes this series so much fun, is kind of picking up on those and also seeing what their interpretation of these stories are. There is also, this is the Stormbreakers variant. This one is the Cabal Stormbreakers variant. And then we have, of course, the John Tyler Christopher. I feel like he's just a regular on this show every week, coming in there with his Nighthawk action figure variant.
He definitely has his own office at Marvel.
Oh, yeah. And you look and you're like, look at all those toys he has. And you're like, oh, wait, those are just pictures.
Yep.
It looks like a KB Toys.
They're all just two-dimensional.
Next up, we have Heroes Reborn. This is American Knight #1. And this follows Luke Cage, but he is now Police Commissioner Luke Cage. And he's following a trail of bodies of criminals who that escaped justice through the city, and he's trying to figure out who is the kind of vigilante that is taking justice into their own hands. And the person that's doing it goes by Saint. So there's definitely some pretty big clues on that cover if you look around. But it's kind of a cool, maybe pseudo Commissioner Gordon, Gotham PD type story.
Yeah, and all the Hero Reborn #1s that are offshoots, they're all one shots,
Yeah.
I believe. So
We have the variant cover. This is the Declan Shalvey variant. And this one I'm really excited for. I didn't know when I saw this cover what this would be. Hands holding a comic that is a homage of what we now know is the Death of Gwen Stacy issue. So this is Heroes Reborn Double Action. This is written by Tim Seeley, and the art is done by Dan Jurgens, the man who killed Superman at DC. Dan Jurgens is just a name that goes with DC Comics, so it's really cool they got him on here. And this is going to be they call it a first-time reprint. But it's supposed to be like you're reading a reprint of an older comic of the death of Falcon, which is kind of done like the death of Gwen Stacy. But sounds really cool. The preview pages we got to see, the art looks like it's from the time of the death of Gwen Stacy era. And I'm really excited about this because I love this idea of kind of like retro showing the history of this Heroes Reborn universe and using an artist who was a big artist at that time.
Yeah, they're going all out. I mean, this issue is the spirit of Heroes Reborn.
Yes.
From all the ones I've read, they're having a good, fun time with this event book instead of just raising the drama that the world's going to end or something like that.
They're just having
what
fun.
You got with, King in Black. So. Okay, so next up, this is a brand new book from Boom Comics. It's an ongoing series by Cullen Bunn called Basilisk. There was a preview for it. I'm trying to remember if it was at the end of Berserker #2, but there were some preview pages of this. The art looks great. So I'm a big Cullen Bunn fan. I'm glad to see he's going to get an ongoing series over at Boom. Typically with Boom, they do it's a 5-parter, but if it's good enough, we let it keep going. But this one, they just have said #1, so I assume it's ongoing. So what is it about? It is about a group of 5 people called the Chimera. So who are the Chimera? They are sort of a cult-like group with a hive mind, and they have powers, evil powers that have to do with the senses. Touch, taste, smell, all that. So this takes place, I guess, after they've been terrorizing the countryside. They've been showing up in small towns, killing people, terrorizing people. Well, one of their members kind of breaks free, gets out of the cult. Her name is Reagan. She has some sort of power with her eyes to kill people. So she covers up her eyes. She runs away from them and is hiding out for years. When a victim or somebody related to a victim from the past finds her and convinces her somehow that she has to hunt down the other 4 and kill them for her past sins. So cool sounding book. I like the whole idea, power of the senses. It just right away you want to know what are they going to be. So that is the general premise of the book. This is the A cover, and here is the B cover by Ward.
Once again, I have high hopes for this. One, it's Cullen Bunn, but also Boom's just doing a great job right now.
Yeah, the quality control at Boom is second to none currently, it seems like.
Alright, this is a new series from Aftershock Comics, and it is called Out of Body. It is written by Peter Milligan with art by Inaki Miranda, who is on We Live, which is super popular. So this is a horror mystery. It is self-described a weird occult detective thriller about life, death, and everything between. Our main character, it doesn't say this explicitly, but it seems like he's woken up from a coma, or perhaps is dead and is somehow still part of him alive. So he's able to astral project and is trying to discover who killed him. So, as you can tell by the cover, and this is the only cover for this, we're probably going to have some trippy artwork, as you would expect if you were once dead and now astral projecting through time and space and life. So it sounds pretty cool. If you like Aftershock Comics, or if that sounds neat to you, go ahead and check it out.
So I like the Miranda brothers, and they kind of hit the scene hard with We Live. In fact, we reviewed that. We gave that a very high review, and then people came in the store, bought it up. I can't believe how good it's done. So I think this may be the second comic that one of the Miranda brothers is working on.
Yeah.
The second one I've noticed. So.
Okay, next up we have, this is Batman 109. So this is, I believe is this the Bartel variant? No, this is the Middleton variant. So really cool. And this issue is the one that says that the mayor actually gives the go-ahead to start the magistrate in Gotham.
Okay.
So this is, I mean, out of all the books after Future State, I mean, Batman's like, yeah, that's the story we're doing. Like, we're pushing forward with that.
Future State was supposed to be 20 years from the future. Like, that was the lease. And I feel like they're really narrowing that gap really quick.
Well, it's a really dark future, and it takes a while for that to settle in.
Yeah, I guess so. But this follows up the huge Batman 108.
Yes.
I think 108 sold over 200,000 copies.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, yeah.
And then we have, this is the Bartel, the Pride Month variant, which is cool because you have like all those new characters on there, and even Ghostmaker in the background.
He is, yep. His back's turned to them, but he's looking.
Yeah.
He's looking over his shoulder. So this is Batman Urban Legends number 4. It is, I believe, the second to last issue of the series. This is the Rodriguez variant. And, of course, this is going to continue the story. It has several stories in it, one of which is Grifter's story. I've really enjoyed the Grifter stuff. It's been really, really cool. I hope other people are digging it. I never knew he was a character I liked so much, but he really is a fun character to read about. It also continues the story with Batman and Red Hood. That's been a messed up story.
That one's really good.
Yeah. And lastly, there is going to be Tim Drake's getting his own story in this.
Yay.
Yeah, a lot of people have been clamoring for some Tim Drake stuff, and I know James Tynion announced we're going to see him in some things. I know a lot of people like Tim Drake, and people don't write about him enough. But yeah, that's what he was saying in an interview, and I think this is sort of some of the first we're going to see of more Tim Drake stories. And here is the C variant by Dustin Nguyen.
Very interesting. All right, our epic space adventure is coming to a conclusion with Far Sector number 12. This is the final issue in the Maxi series. This is the Jen Bartel variant. She's done most, if not all, of the B covers on these, so they look fantastic. This is, like I said, the B cover. And then following that up, we've got Green Lantern number 3, the Brian Hitch cardstock variant.
I like how the Far Sector Green Lantern, her series ends and she just slips right into the main
I was thinking
Green Lantern
the same
series.
thing. Yeah.
That's one of the best outcomes that can happen after a Maxi series is like, and you're off.
You're just in
Go
the main
ahead.
series.
You're in the main series.
Yeah, and we know with Future State Green Lantern, I mean, it turns out where she's like the only one with powers eventually. So.
Next up, this is Batman: The Adventure Continues Season 2. I'm really excited about this. If you read Season 1, you know that this is a kind of a continuation of Batman the Animated Series, one of the most beloved Batman things of all time. And this one sounds really cool because they're actually bringing in the Court of Owls to the Batman animated universe, which is cool that it's like, well, they came out after the
Way
show
after,
ended,
yeah.
but they're kind of retrofitting them. How would they look back in this? And this is the Andrew McLean variant, which, if you know his work, he's the creator and artist of Headlopper. So really cool to see him do some like mainstream characters.
Interesting. Yeah, it's just so much cleaner.
Yeah.
Than his Headlopper stuff. All right, so this is Justice League number 62. This is the Howard Porter variant. You get to see all the members of this new, very different Justice League, including Black Adam, Hippolyta, Naomi. So this one, in the solicitation, it says that it has a surprise in it that will send Naomi fans screaming. That's what it says. I love when they promise so big, you know. It makes me want to find someone. It's like, are you a Naomi fan? Read this, and I just watch and I wait for that scream.
And they just drop it and run away.
Just howling. I have to cover my ears.
All right, this is Next Batman Second Son number 3, the Ryan Benjamin variant. And as you can see, we have a matchup here of Batwing and Tim Jace Fox. So this is, of course, the origin of Fox as the next Batman. So we're seeing all that groundwork laid here before Future State. And this is going to be some things revealed of what drove him out of Gotham. So cool variant for the penultimate issue.
Next up is Rorschach. This is the Matina cover for issue 9. And I would go into detail about the story. But man, is this story crazy.
It's a wild tale.
You know, no spoilers now, but the last issue actually had Frank Miller in it. I mean...
Not writing it, not drawing it.
He was
in it.
like Rorschach shows up to Frank Miller's door and they sit down and have a nice conversation. So you can only guess what's going to be in, you know, these last few issues of Rorschach.
I assume they're going to go visit Alan Moore now.
Yeah, they create like a super team
of
like
there you go.
80s writers. Yeah, I'm all for it.
Okay, this is Sensational Wonder Woman number 4. This is the Hetrick variant. In this issue, somebody is controlling the weather. So Wonder Woman has to figure out who that is and knock them back into Saturday. I assume it's probably Storm in a Marvel crossover. That
Not Weather Wizard, not like a continuity DC.
They're gonna make it bigger. So, but yeah, somebody's controlling the weather. That's what the issue's about.
All right, this is Suicide Squad number 4, the Perel variant. As you can see, we have Red X captured, but guess what? He probably wanted to be captured because the members of the Suicide Squad starting being picked off in this issue. So this is the, of course, like I said, variant cover for that issue.
I just feel like Red Hood's there, or Red X is like, stay in school, kids. You know? That's what I hear him saying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is Swamp Thing number 4. I love the variants they've been doing for Swamp Thing. People love drawing Swamp Thing just poking his head out of the water. That's like his perfect pose.
Yep.
And this one is the Gerardo Zaffino variant.
Okay, so now we're going to get to some Hellfire Gala stuff. This is Hellions number 12, the Daughterman connecting variant. But the next one this is just the A cover.
Yeah,
this is the A cover. So the Hellions were not invited to the gala, but of course they're going to show up anyway. And so you can see they're causing some Hellion stuff going on. So that is the regular cover. The next one is the Daughterman connecting cover. Mm-hmm. And then the last one, we have some wraparounds we have to show you. This is the Segovia character design wraparound. So a lot of work has gone into designing what all these characters would wear to this gala. There was a guidebook, you can get it free at your local store while supplies last, that shows off a lot of it. And I think that's a lot of the interest of this. You know, so the general idea, of course, is that the Hellfire Club has, they're now a corporation. They're holding this party, and everyone in Krakoa is invited, except for the Hellions. And so it just let a lot of artists redesign what would these characters, what would Colossus wear if he was going to this really fancy party. So I think that's interesting. I mean, we read comics, but it is it is a visual medium.
Mhm.
So I think even if you're the sort like me, I don't dress up a whole lot. I'm still really interested in character design and what they're
Yeah.
all going to wear. So I think this is a great event. I'm a little tired of all the world's going to end events, as you could probably tell by me talking about Heroes Reborn. So I think this is really cool.
I wonder if there's
So-
a mutant that's their ability is to create high fashion. They're like their mutant ability is like extreme tailor skills or something.
You know what I hope? I hope Mystique gets there and she's wearing the same dress as someone else, and she just like sighs and then just morphs into a different
Yeah.
outfit.
That's great.
Okay, so this is Marauders number 21 with Emma Frost on the cover. So that's the A cover. The next one is the Dodderman connecting variant to that one. That
Looks like
connects
Emma
with
Frost
the one.
changes a couple of times during the party.
Yeah. And then we have the big one, the design variant by the artist's name is Lolly, character design variant on Marauders number 21. And then next we have, oh, and I forgot to tell you, so the Marauders are, oh, okay, so this story includes an extra classic story by Chris Claremont. It was the first Hellfire Gala, because Claremont wrote that.
Yeah.
With art by John Bolton. So you get to find out about that if you pick this up. Then we have X-Force number 20. There we go. Yeah, X-Force number 20. And X-Force, they are at the gala. They have been invited, but they're the bouncers. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean, X-Force is always that way. They've always been sort of the muscle team of the X-Men. You know, when Professor X needs somebody to go get hit, he calls X-Force. So now they're gonna bounce people who are making trouble at the party or crashing it. So I almost wonder if they're gonna fight with Hellions. Hellions are clearly party crashing. They're here as bouncers. It feels like there's gonna be something that goes down.
Beast would be good. He's a great bouncer.
Yeah, and so here is the Dodderman connecting variant on that. And lastly, the design variant on that. So when they do the wraparounds, we go to extra length to show it all nice and big. It hides up my brilliant co-hosts, unfortunately, but that way everyone can really see what these are like. Look at Professor X in bling.
I love it, and I love that he has like a separate helmet that's like, this is my all like pearlescent white version of my helmet.
He looks like a crazy rapper
It's like a little Daft Punk
in a onesie.
All right. Well, I hope everyone has as much fun with those as we're having.
All right, next up is the Iron Man annual. What I thought was really cool about this is it's going to have a backup story, and I don't know where it's going to continue, but this is part 1. Maybe it's going to continue in Iron Man of Super Spy versus Super Spy. It's a Nick Fury and Phil Coulson face-off sub-story. So that's a part 1. Thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, this is the Iron Man annual coming out. There are a couple other covers. I'm just showing you this one. This is the Cherished variant. So if you want to check out the other covers, you can go to Previews World, check out the full catalog.
Okay, so this is interesting. This is Firepower, number 12. This is it's been 1 year since the launch of Firepower. If you remember that craziness that was the
whole trade paperback.
The whole trade paperback that it came out even though we didn't have a free comic book day. Well, this is celebrating the end of the first big 12-part story arc and kind of setting the stage for what's to come. And there are 13 covers for this, including the A cover. So this is the Todd McFarlane variant.
I really wouldn't have guessed that. I mean, I can see it now that you say it, but...
Yeah, it's very different for his style.
Yeah.
This is actually the Frank Miller variant. I mean, Kirkman, he has friends everywhere. Yeah. He has friends in very high places.
That is a good Frank Miller cover.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a good one like that in a while.
Don't let him hear you say that.
Oh. Let's see, and then we have the Eric Larson variant.
Yeah, same with that. Eric Larson did a great crossover cover. Now this. That's awesome.
So there are a ton of covers for this by a bunch of awesome artists. It would have just been a lot to show off every single one of them. It's already been a show full of a ton of variant covers, so go check those out.
Okay, so here's a new one by Black Mask Comics. It is called Everfrost #1. The solicitation for this is long. There's a lot going on in this, so I'm going to give you the short version. Basically, it is about a woman who moves away to this icy place because she's trying to get off the planet. It is a sci-fi tale during a time of societal collapse. That's what it is. She's trying to get away, trying to get off the planet, but apparently people are bugging her. People are trying to stop her. I think some sun she hasn't seen in ages stops by. But it's read like a lot going on in this. Definitely sci-fi book for those of you who like some indie sci-fi goodness.
All right, next up is Apex Legends Overtime. This is based on a very, very popular video game, which has amazingly high ratings. Also, if you have played this or haven't, it's coming out from Dark Horse. So this is, like I said, based on the Battle Royale game Apex Legends. And if you know anything about Battle Royale, I don't have time to explain it all here, but anyway, people have been trying to fix the battles. So our legends, which I'm guessing are our main characters here, are forced together from all different parts of the world to come together and try to stop those people trying to fix the games. So yeah, seems pretty cool. I believe this is a 4-part series. So yeah, 4-part miniseries.
Next up is not just some bad dudes.
Nope.
This is the worst
Worst
dudes. So, I mean, this book heavily prides itself on just how bad their dudes are and how raunchy this book is. It's it says, it's so dirty it will turn your other comics yellow. So, yeah, I mean, if that gives you any hint, but it's about a dirty cop, a backup dancer, and a angsty adolescent god go on a raunch-filled road trip to find a missing pop star. So, I mean, who knows how far they'll push it? I feel like a lot of this has a lot of humor to it. It says it's like
I hope so.
heavy. Well, yeah, but I think the claims of how raunchy it is may be part of the fun of the book. But yeah, this is actually by the creator of No One Left to Fight. That book that from Dark Horse, it was kind of like, I mean, it was a takeoff of like Dragon Ball Z, but kind of after the fact, where what if you're the strongest person in the universe and then you're just really bored now because there's no one left to fight. So sounds fun, sounds crazy. It's got those warning labels on it and everything. So we'll wait to see how bad these worst dudes actually are.
Okay, so this is North Force #0, or is it? This is actually it's not even just a variant cover, but this is Savage Dragon number 259. So let me explain. Savage Dragon 259 is actually being solicited this week as well, meaning it's not out yet. This is not taking an older story. This is an upcoming issue of Savage Dragon. In it, there is a new Canadian superhero team called North Force. So Eric Larson, having the fun that he has nowadays, instead of just doing a variant cover, he's doing a whole somewhat different comic. So it's the same as Savage Dragon 259, except it has this cover. It's called North Force #0. They say they're going to focus more on the team, and where typically the letters page is, like where it'll be in Savage Dragon 259, it's a bio page for each of the members. So I think it's just really noteworthy. It's not just a variant. It actually is a bit different. And I don't know. I mean, a lot of people like to collect first appearances. I'm assuming this team is all new from what I've read. Definitely very reminiscent of Alpha Flight.
Yeah, it's less of a variant cover, more of a variant comic.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same, but just a little bit different.
So just, I don't know how many people are going to order this or want this, but it's noteworthy. And we like everyone to go in their store and know what things are.
Yeah.
And so I just thought this was interesting and different.
All right, so unfortunately we don't have covers for these, but this is Berserker #3. And as you can see, it's going to have 4 total covers, the A and B, and then the foil versions of those two as well. I'm assuming it's just going to be foil versions of the A and B. So with issue number 2, we traveled back into B's memories and got to see some of his origins. Just see how old he is, like
80,000 years.
like, yeah, birth of human civilization old. And we're going to be digging deeper into his origin and his memories in issue number 3. So I like that it's, you know, not in between the action and violence. We have some origin and some character paving the way. So go ahead, try to let us know what you want. Let your store know what you want. Sign up for the series if you're not already on it. Definitely around this time, this is where stores trickle off their ordering.
Yeah, and especially because they didn't get the covers ready in time for orders. All of our orders, like every store in the world's orders are due on this on Monday. They will probably not have these covers ready. That's a shame because they've done some really good job with Berserker.
Yeah.
It's been just as everyone expected it would be, even
Yeah.
better, I think.
Yeah.
So let your store know you want these because, I mean, seriously, when they don't have the cover, stores just don't order enough.
It's crazy they don't, for a book so big, have the covers ready. But
Yeah.
I'm sure they have their reasons. They're still dealing with
Right.
15th printing of number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there is some reason to it. But I mean, we also know Berserker is big. The covers have been great. The creative talent on it's been awesome. So, yeah.
Oh, this is me too. We're already on this.
Wow.
Okay, well, we skipped a little bit, but okay, I'll go ahead and talk to you about Layla Starr. This is number 3 of a 5-part miniseries. It's been a great series so far. I really like it by Ram V. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. So if you have not picked this up, actually, this is number 1.
This is the number 1. I think this is the
number 1
second or third printing.
Our screens are a little off. But anyway, this is, the number 1 second printing, if you haven't got it.
Okay, this is a new book called Moths. This is about a woman who is from Upshot Comics, is a 6-part series. It's about a woman who has a really great superpower. They don't tell you what it is. They're like, it's an amazing superpower, but if she uses it, she then only has 6 months to live.
Yeah.
So what this follows is she's been holding back and something happens that makes her want to use it finally. And now she has 6 months to live. She knows it and she's going to try to make the most of those 6 months so she can continue using this power, whatever it is. They're keeping that under wraps. But I think that's a pretty cool premise. Sort of, you know, we've read books or maybe you've had late night drunken discussions with friends. What would you do if you were dying and you only had a year left to live? Well, what if you only had 6 months and you had superpowers? That could change the world. That could really affect things for your family and friends when you're gone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the premise on this one. And it has a variant cover by Andrews. Sort of, obviously, a phoenix from the ashes. Sort of
I wonder
I dare
when
say.
she supposedly dies, if it's going to be, does she transform to a butterfly type thing? Or, I mean, the book's not called Caterpillar, but
yeah,
it gives you that idea that maybe something will happen.
That's a good point.
Here you go. This is Layla Starr.
So this is, well, just back to what I was saying before, Mini Deaths of Layla Starr. This is the number 3, and this is actually the Danny cover, the B cover.
Yep. I think the previous Layla Starr that we showed was just a screen from last week that got left in by
But still
accident.
a good reminder that they're putting out other printings of it.
I like this too.
Yeah, that's a very weird cover.
Okay, this is Betty Page. What was this? Betty Page and the Curse of the Banshee.
Yeah.
So you thought Betty Page was just a pinup model from a few years ago? Nope. She actually is like works for the government as an investigator. And in this one, it takes her to Ireland. The writer says there will be murder mysteries and underground labyrinths and undead banshees. So, I mean, this book has been crazy. All the different Betty Page series where she's going up against crazy monsters and criminals. So this is also the variant cover, I believe.
And she's posing like Bugs Bunny.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a What's Up Doc
What's Up Doc
pose. Yeah. Okay, so Vampirella is getting a one-shot called Vampirella 1992. This is by Max Landis, who writes a lot of Vampirella.
Wow. Yeah.
He does a lot of horror. He does some comedy. So this is an interesting one. I don't really know what struck them to make this particular one-shot because it literally is supposed to be what was Vampirella doing in 1992? Let's just do a one shot to show what she was up to. That's basically the premise.
I was trying to think of like what movie came out in 1992 that should be like in the theater seeing. It's before Jurassic Park, but after like Hunt for Red October, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. If you know some good 92 movies that maybe influenced her, I mean, it does make some sense. I mean, that was the rise of goth culture. She's probably starting goth right then. So I don't know. So, but if you're interested, just let your comic shop know, because once again, one shots don't tend to order tons of them unless people ask for them first to show an interest.
All right, a new Rick and Morty miniseries installment here. It's Rick and Morty, Rick's New Hat. Rick has a new hat, and it is attracting evil. But it says it's an evil so banal that even our adventurers may not be able to stop it. So, just like all our other Rick and Morty series, it's going to feature a ton of different characters that you know and love, including Mr. Poopy Butthole, Pickle Rick, and a whole lot more in like a faux crossover event. So, if you have been reading the other Rick and Morty series, you will love this one just as the others. So, check it out.
Is that the hat on his head right there?
I believe it is.
It must be a sci-fi power, because that is not a very nice looking hat.
Next up is Amazing Spider-Man. This is the GARCIN variant, and they're doing like these month of villain variants. So each of the villain covers like spotlight kind of the history of a different villain. But also this is the start of the new big story arc, the Chameleon Conspiracy, where Spider-Man's big villain, the Chameleon, has some big dastardly thing, says it's going to be a really big story. So
I see Doc Ock there, and then to the left I see like another Doc Ock.
Yeah, it's spotlighting like all the different versions and all the different times he appeared. So as you look around, it has like a bunch of really classic like appearances of Doc Ock on it.
Okay. This is Black Cat number 7. This is the Jimenez Pride variant. I noticed Black Cat, it's like, I think her makeup is smudged or something, kind of around her nose. Yeah, I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. Or maybe cat fur, she was nuzzling
I was about to
say,
she's allergic to cats, and she's rubbing her nose.
That could be. So in this issue, she is reconsidering her life as a criminal / anti-hero. And as she's doing that, it says she has to pay the piper, and there's a bunch of appearances, including the Fantastic Four, Iron Man, Iron Fist, Doctor Strange, and Wolverine.
Wow.
So I don't know if they're there to arrest her or throw her a party because she might be changing her mind, but that's what the solicitation reads. And there's also a Dotson Spider-Man Villains variant. They didn't have the cover ready, as you can see, so it's orderable. If you don't order it, I bet there's not going to be too many on the shelves.
Black Cat's funny too, because I mean, just recently she's been through a lot. She had the anti-Venom suit.
Yeah, she did.
She had the power of an Asgardian. One of the upcoming covers, she has the Infinity Gauntlet. Like she's had a week or two.
She really has.
That's really tested her.
Yeah, she led that team that rescued Doctor Strange during the whole Null crisis.
Yep.
All right, speaking of the Spider-Man Villains variants, this is the Spider-Man Villains variants for Immortal Hulk number 47, where they're battling in the streets of New York City. I don't know why I said it that way.
City.
And next we have the Bennett homage variant. What issue is this?
Is that the 105 or whatever?
It looks like it. You guys tell me in the comments which homage cover of Hulk is this. Let us know.
And then stare at those veins.
All right, next.
This is Nocterra number 4. We've seen this cover now for a little while, and it is amazing. This is the Frizzen variant. So, I mean, it's beautiful. And this issue says that Val, our main character, finally reaches this fabled promised land that they've been seeking, but I have a feeling it's not going to be maybe what they thought it was going to be. Maybe a little too good to be true.
No happy ending run credits
moment. No, she doesn't like go through a little doorway and then it's just like a beautiful sunny day and they all just frolic through the meadows. Nope, I have a feeling there's going to be more than 4 issues of this. So.
Yeah, and if you guys haven't read issue 3 yet, it was awesome. It was thrilling. It was amazing. This series is really, really cool.
I think there's one more variant. This is the Daniel variant. Tony Daniel, of course, the artist on the series, but spotlighting that really creepy character.
Yeah, this might be... I don't know if that's generally one of the demons or a new demon, because that's actually not the Bill guy. He has, like, so normal teeth, it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
This thing's got, creepy teeth. Okay, so Alien number 2 is going to second print. We just want everyone to know. Some people around here are collecting everything, every cover, every printing. So here's the cover for Alien number 2, second print.
And speaking of second prints, that's a lot of what we're getting to in this next section here, so we'll probably bust through these pretty quick. This is Carnage, Black, White, and Blood number 2, second printing.
I love it.
Gotta look at it sideways.
Carnage Shark.
That's awesome.
This is Way of X. This is the second printing of number 1. One of, I feel like a lot of people who dropped off of X-Men titles are back on board because of this book.
Yeah, it had a really strong number 1. Number 2 is good too as well. I got to read a preview of that. This is Shadecraft number 1, third print. We're already to third print. This was already optioned when it came out. A lot of people kind of got that late. We talked about it.
It was very good.
And it's a cool first issue. You can see how this will adapt well to TV and all, but it's also a cool comic. So this is the third printing of issue number 1, and then they're doing a second printing of issue number 2.
That looks so much like Scotty Young. I love that. I've read this, and it definitely fits the story. So
She's becoming good friends with her shadow.
That's very cute.
Yep.
Next up, Nocterra, multiple printings. We have number 2, the third printing. And then number 3, the second printing.
Next up, we have Ultra Mega. This is number 1, third printing. And Ultra Mega number 2, second printing. Hopefully I got those right. There's a lot of numbers to throw around there.
You did.
But cool.
All right, just a reminder, Invincible Red Sonja number 2 is up for order. So number 1 just came out. We like to remind everyone so you can tell your shop, sign me up. I read that, but I forgot to tell you to sign me up. And we don't want you to miss number 2. It's by Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti.
Yeah.
What a great team. Always
Also,
producing
we
some
just
cool
got
comics.
this week, they cast Red Sonja for the new Red Sonja movie.
That's right. That's
So,
right.
very timely.
Biggie. All right, up next we have some trade paperbacks. So this is Future State Batman Dark Detective. It is $34.99. Earlier we talked about the Magistrate. Well, this is in that whole environment. So in this trade paperback, you're going to see the Magistrate controlling everything, mass surveillance. It's not a good time, and Batman is dead. So this collects Future State Dark Detective 1 through 4, Red Hood 1 through 2, Batman Superman 1 through 2, Catwoman 1 and 2, Harley Quinn 1 and 2, and Robin Eternal 1 and 2. So just a ton of Future State titles all collected here. Find out what is happening in the future of the current stuff you're reading.
Next is Justice League Unlimited Girl Power. And this is really cool. I love that they're reprinting a lot of these. They did a lot with Batman Adventures, and now they're doing Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. And this spotlights some of the key issues of some of your favorite female heroes, Supergirl, Wonder Girl, Mary Marvel. You see on there Huntress. So this is only $9.99, and it collects quite a few single issues from things like Adventures in the DC Universe and Justice League Unlimited.
Okay, so this is the History of the Marvel Universe trade paperback. This was by Mark Waid and Javier Rodriguez. It is all 6 issues. This was quite a task, and it's good they got Mark Waid to do it. He's the right person to do this. He tries to tell all the various big stories of the Marvel Universe all together, but sort of interconnected and sort of going from one to the next. From, you know, Uncle Ben's death in Spider-Man to Fantastic Four getting their powers, all the way up to modern day stuff. It's a lot to read. It really is. They pack it in this. So they finally collected all 6 issues. It's going to be $24.99. It has 2 covers to it as well. This is the McNiven cover, I believe. Oh, I'm sorry. No, this is the Bashima cover. and this is the McNiven cover. So you can even pick whatever one you think is the best.
I like that.
So just $24.99 to read. It's kind of cool to do an overview of this is everything that's happened in the Marvel Universe up to this
it's
point.
also, I mean, what a challenge
breakneck speed.
to sum up some of the biggest stories in, like, seriously, he has to do it in like 4 or 5 panels.
Yeah.
And it's cool because this story also is the kind of wraparound story of it is Franklin Richards talking to Galactus, and they're telling stories about the universe before its inevitable end at the end of this.
This is great individually released, but I think reading it collected is more.
And it'll probably take you a while because it's a lot.
It will, but you won't have to wait a month between issues.
Yeah.
All right, it has been 80 years since Captain America was first unleashed upon the world. So this is Captain America first 80 years. I like the way they frame that. The first 80 years, as in we're definitely going to have...
This is volume 1. Wait till volume 2, the next 80 years.
We'll all be dead. Anyway, it doesn't feature any stories, it seems like, but instead it features covers, comic art, and behind-the-scenes facts and info about a lot of people who created Captain America, a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. So it's only $20. We have several different covers here. This is the FOC variant. By the way, this is what you're watching, Comics from the Future. Final Order Correction. This is the newsstand version. And next we have the previews exclusive. I really love this one. And the hardcover version, which is $29.99. So $10 more, you get the hardcover version right here, featuring lots of great Captain America stuff.
Next up, this is Star Wars Legends Rise of the Sith. This is an omnibus. I'm really excited about this. This is 1,000 pages.
Crazy.
Wow.
I was going to list everything that this contains, but it's so much it would take all day. But what the main stuff this does cover is like pre-episode 1 stories about Anakin and not Anakin and Obi-Wan, about Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. We do get to Anakin later. But like all the prequel stuff to episode 1 collects like a Jedi Council, and this also has the Phantom Menace series in it, the adaptation of the movie with the 1/2 issue that came out before it, and then it goes off into some of the Star Wars Tales stories that follow like individual characters that appeared in episode 1, but a lot of this Jedi Council stuff is really, really good. A lot of that recently has been going up in value like crazy. But if you want to read it, because these are very hard series to get a hold of now, I think this is great. I think it's $125 for the omnibus. And this there has 2 covers.
1,000 pages.
1,000 pages. And then we have the B cover. I believe this is the Fleming Darth Maul variant.
Okay, so this is Murder Hobo, the big floppy edition. That's what it's called.
So good.
Yeah, by Scout Comics. So I have not actually read Murder Hobo, but it sounds pretty cool. I don't know how I missed it. Sometimes these little indie comics get by me. So the premise is, what happens when a regular adventuring party, you know, sort of Tolkien D&D style, what happens when they get the wrong hireling? You know, they bring somebody into the party who isn't the right sort of person you want to party with. For instance, a murder hobo. Well, everything goes wrong, everything bad happens, and that's what this is. So this is a collection of 2 different murder hobo stories for $9.99, and I guess that's why they're calling it the big floppy edition. You can see that the cover is a World of Warcraft homage. So, there you have it, Murder Hobo, $9.99 for the big floppy edition.
Alright, so this is pretty cool. Do you guys remember the trade paperback that came out a little while ago called Paul is Dead? Well, this is by the same creators, and it's written by Paolo Baron and with art by Ernesto Carbonetti. So, this tells the story of Jim Morrison. What if he is not dead? He's hiding out in Italy. And apparently these guys are doing a lot like Brubaker and Phillips. They're doing this is going to be a trilogy, so it's the second installment of these celebrity conspiracy theories. So the first one we had, Paul McCartney was switched with somebody else, and he actually is dead. So here we have another one, a celebrity you think is dead is not dead. So they're doing some really interesting
Mhm.
things with this, and I think everybody was a little bit skeptical about Paul is Dead, but it ended up getting a really lot of good critical response.
Mhm.
So I think safe to say same with this one. So yeah, only $16.99 too. Not a great big investment to maybe check out a pretty cool story.
I wonder if they're gonna do like Elvis. Like Elvis is an alien or something.
I mean, that makes sense. If you're
Yeah,
talking
that's-
about people like musicians who people claim they still see, I think Elvis is like the number one.
Yeah.
Make your predictions now. What will be their third?
They've got to do Tupac at some point too.
Mm.
Well, it's only a trilogy, but hopefully they'll do more in the
No,
future. We have
this
one
could
more.
go on forever.
Yeah.
And we have Avatar: The Last Airbender, Suki Alone. So a lot of people, seems like since Avatar went on Netflix, have been
Mhm.
coming in
Oh yeah.
asking for Avatar comics or being surprised, like, oh, they've got Avatar comics. So these have been blowing up. Every time a new one comes out, people are so excited about it. This is a brand new one. This is 80 pages. It's all new story. So if you are a big Avatar fan, you'll definitely want to pick this one up.
All right. It was a huge week, but we got through it. I mean, just all the Venom covers and
Me saying five fart series. I mean, we've laughed, we've
War of the
cried.
Bounty Hunters and Heroes Reborn, and I mean, this was a big one. When we put the show together, usually we got about 2 pages of stuff. I think this is like 2.5 pages. Like
Mhm.
2 pages is a lot.
Almost
so.
3.
Almost 3 pages. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, please let us know if you guys need any of the things you see here. If you don't have a local comic shop, we'll be happy to supply you with what you need. We'll leave some info up on the screen for that. And if not, just let your comic shop know. And you have until Monday for most of the stuff, and then Sunday for DC titles. So make sure to get your orders in, and we will see you next time.
I wonder if people start watching this, and if you like play it fast motion, you watch us slowly go crazy. By the end of it, we're just out of it.
Yes.
Okay. See you guys.
See you next time.
Next time.